And, you know, the gift to these authoritarians in their minds is our divisiveness. You know, if you're sitting in Beijing or Moscow or Tehran or Pyongyang and one of these other places, and you see how crazy we act and how incapable we seem to be of getting things done anymore.
Maybe he went to a caucus when he was in Iowa.
Well, he could have. He could have gone to a caucus, and thank God they're over, at least for the Democrats, because they are deserving to be finished. So, and I mean, I won Iowa once, but still, it's not a good, it's not a good idea. You know, let my people vote. So, look, I think that we have to take responsibility for some of how we are seen, which leads to conclusions about what other countries then can get away with, because we can't get our own act together to be able to craft and stick with a bipartisan foreign policy. Now, with respect to Ukraine, it's been pretty miraculous. It's been as bipartisan has. I mean, there are the outliers and, you know, these people who say these ridiculous things who I don't think yet have any kind of, you know, sway or majority. But if you're sitting in these other countries and you're looking at the United States in the last 20 years where we, you know, waged 2 very expensive wars, didn't pay for them, first time in American history we didn't pay for going to war, where our whole economic system collapsed because we didn't regulate the financial industry, which then brought down the global economy, where we had to kind of pull ourselves out of that. And thank goodness, you know, the pattern is that, you know, Republicans, you know, have these huge deficits and debts, and then Democrats like my husband and like Barack Obama have to come in and try to, you know, get us back on a more even keel. And then you've got Trump, who is personally responsible for 25% of the entire debt of America. This charade that they're playing out on the debt limit is, you know, beyond outrageous. So you look, though, I wrote a piece in the New York Times a couple of weeks ago about the national security implications of the debt, because I was in Hong Kong in 2011 when we were going through this again in the Obama administration. And, you know, I was having a big meeting with, you know, Chinese business people, both Hong Kong-based at that point and China-based, and then from around the region. And all they wanted to do was get me to reassure them that we wouldn't go into debt. And of course, you know, I'm sitting there going, oh, no, you know, that's not going to happen. We'll figure it out. Sometimes we get to the brink. But what an absurd position to put the most productive and biggest economy in the world into. So if you're sitting there watching, so yeah, maybe there was a chance if we had had a different focus that China might have said, oh, wow, we can't mess with the Americans. I mean, you know, let's develop ourselves internally. Let's figure out what we're going to do with this massive savings rate that our people have and give them a little more freedom, not too much, but maybe a little more. And let's find some ways to work with, you know, the Americans on climate change and other stuff. But no, instead, it's like, oh, my God, you know, there's an opportunity here. And you can't blame somebody for taking opportunities if you open the door to them.